together. He said, no, Yaradua did so much for me, I can't afford to fight him. I said, we are not fighting Yaradua. A man is ill. It is not a crime to be ill. It's just that we want the vice president to become acting president. The system is getting derailed. Look at the story. He cannot send troops to Jos. He cannot do this. He cannot sign this. That's why they told so many lies. Anyway, he said he was never going to join me in the process. So I decided to go solo. I wrote, after those 3 people, I stopped meeting anybody. After writing that name, I called my SA, Mr. Bumba, to my house in the morning. I said, Ron. He said, what is going on? Are you not going to council? I said, you must be here before 8:30. He came, he read it. After reading it, he said, Mommy, this is suicidal. You can't do this. I said, why shouldn't I do it? If I die, I die. He said that our job is on the line. I said, if our democracy collapses, you will still lose your job. So I went and presented it that morning, and after I distributed the papers, some of them read it quickly. The secretary to government said, no, retrieve these papers. And, some people started abusing me. The highest voice was that of the attorney general, and it went on and on. I was so harassed that I forgot my council papers and box in that council. I said, listen.
Supporters of former President Goodluck Jonathan arrived at his Abuja residence Thursday with a clear message urging the former Nigerian leader to contest the 2027 presidential election. The group says the country needs experienced leadership at a time Nigerians are dealing with economic hardship and security concerns.
Because of our genuine fear of a possible collapse of Nigeria as peace and unity is now gradually eluding all of us, we are asking you to hear our cries and contest the 2027 presidential election.
Sir, we believe you represent hope. We, the young people, we are ready to stand with you.
Addressing the supporters, former President Jonathan acknowledged the calls, but stopped short of making a formal declaration.
Yes, you have asked me to come and contest the next elections. Presidential race is not a computer game, but I've heard you, and I'll consult widely. But the most important thing is in Nigeria that the young people will have hope. In Nigeria that will plan for our grandchildren.
Jonathan also stressed the need for patriotism, national unity, and credible elections, insisting that peaceful democratic processes remain critical to the country's development.
But the key thing is peace in this country, and you will continue to advocate for that. And you continue to advocate for peaceful and credible elections in the country. Because if we don't have peaceful and credible elections, most good citizens will not want to bother.
Though no official declaration was made, his comments are already generating fresh political conversations ahead of the 2027 general elections. Yemi Adebayo, AIT News, Abuja.
Impact within 4 years. Obi can actually equally make an impact within 4 years, and that is the game. But I can tell you, no matter how you look at it, Kwankwaso is the greatest beneficiary of this structure, and that is why he is going to go all out to make sure that there is a massive support from the Northerners in that regard. And the way the whole thing is going, I can tell you that we are likely going to see Turaki faction structured under the support of Kwankwasia movement or the OK movement in that regard.
Wow, okay.
That Atiku has actually won that election. I want to say this very clearly. Jonathan, don't make mockery of yourself. As simple as that. You can see it clearly on the line.
In most recent days, we have seen Kenneth Okonkwo picking, of course, calling out P2B and disparaging him, calling him that he's not serious, he can't protect the mandate of the people, just as he said that I'm not desperate. But Nigerians at this time need a desperate politician who is not just desperate, but can defend the electoral mandate of the people.
When Obi said he's not desperate, Obi means that he cannot carry gun and keep people because he wants to be president. That's what Obi means. So please understand, Nigeria should understand that. It's not the time, that will spill blood or that will kill people or that will force people. Obi's movement is organic. He cannot destroy it. Obi has become a national magnet. Anywhere he goes, he drives a force. Not by ego like Atiku. Atiku is just riding on ego. I want to be president. I want to be president. And if you look at it inwards, his agenda is definitely different from what Obi has. Obi's agenda is based on, what do I offer at the end of the day? And that's what Nigerians are looking at. Nigerians are not looking at the party Obi belongs. Nigerians are looking at, what Obi represents, what Obi says, what can Obi do? This Obi that has said this, said that, and if you look at Obi look presidential. Obi is not the type of person that will go anywhere and collapse. No.
Well, as far as Nigeria is concerned, can you vouch for any Nigerian politician?
No, I can't.
And based on character, and sometimes they might change when they get to office.
Let me tell you, among 12, there must be Judas. I am telling you, in every hamlet, there is a prince. And in that hamlet, you have bad, good, and ugly. But inside bad, good, and ugly, there's a prince. So if you put all these politicians now on the radar, Obi is outstanding in terms of credibility, in terms of integrity, in terms of the clear-cut agenda of what you want to do. See, Obi, to an extent, it's not his fault. The force that is behind Obi is more than Obi. If Obi says he's not going to be president today, his house, anywhere he stays, will be locked by Nigerians.
Do you believe you have confidence in the electoral process and the judiciary? It was widely believed that Obi won 2023 election, even confessed by the likes of El-Rufai, but unfortunately was robbed. Don't you think a repeat of such will be, of course, the case of 2027, being that the Jagaban is now in control of the electoral umpire and the security architecture?
Let me tell you, why Obi needed a radical vice president. Dati Ahmed was extremely a gentleman, but it was a perfect match for Nigeria. I can tell you that. In terms of they are celebrity-minded people, there are people who are exposed and educated, who knows what to do at any particular time. It would have been another chance for Nigeria to experience leadership for the first time. But that notwithstanding, the commercialized judiciary and INEC, truncated that agenda in that regard. But this is another opportunity again, where Obi looked inwards. Now I said, okay, would that happen? Who I can actually defend and stand on my side and represent me there in the north? Who is a bit, radicalized? Who can question? Who can defend? Who can champion an agenda at the end of the day? But let me tell you, some of these governors you are seeing today, they are going to decamp. There's going to be total breakdown of APC at the end of the day. You can see it happening. The Northern Governors Forum has collapsed. Wike and Osadema, they are battling for the soul of River State and other governors' aspirants everywhere. So Tinubu has already started crying that why is it that the Southern APC is in disarray? So it tells you definitely what is going to happen, that the people might decide to align where the masses is going. And where the masses is going as at this moment is the OK movement that has the capacity both in the northern part and in the southern part. And that is why Obi actually, looked inwards, and after so much calculations and consultations, the Kwankwaso movement has now agreed that I think to understand I made a mistake in 2023 because of ego, because of that. But in fact, at this moment, Obi has actually gained another more momentum, and the tsunami is spreading all over the place. This is a man without local government councillor. He was able to share the same millions of votes with Atiku. Imagine what is going to happen when now that Nigerians have tested unfortunate APC, and APC have taught them the lesson of their life. Everybody is mourning since Buhari came into power, APC came to power, to where we are today under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Nigerians are mourning what INEC did to them, and this is the time to pay back. And they're saying that Bola Ahmed Tinubu must go in the
indeed. Just in a minute before we wrap it up, Nigerians are desperate for change indeed, but they are not asking the right questions. How would P2B, if eventually he emerges as the president of Nigeria, handle the economic situation that is at the state of moribund? Nigerian external debt is almost close to 190 trillion, and yet Tinubu has not finished borrowing. So how will P2B survive with such, of course, economy that already has been mortgaged, and considering the state of insecurity that is widespread? What magic will Obi bring to the table to solve this within 4 years?
Yes, that's what defines Obi, and I said it very clearly. I will have had 100 years in Abia State, but look at what Alex Oti is able to do in less than 4 years. Look at Ambode in Lagos. Look at what Ambode was able to do in less than 4 years. So if there's any magic anywhere, Obi has the capacity to ignite, leadership and development and integrity within the institutions that make up Nigerian democracy. And that's what people need. It's a simple thing. It's not a rocket science. The thing is why Nigeria is not moving forward is that most politicians are seeing politics as a vehicle to loot and corrupt the system and make Nigerians vulnerable to anything. But Obi is coming with a different narrative, and that is why they don't want that to work, because Obi is going to open up, and when I met Tinubu, if care is not taken, decided to face the consequences of probe at the end of the day if Obi wins, because a lot has actually happened. I can tell you, massive looting, unaccountable funds has been looted, transparency zero, no system is working. Obi can also look at the issue that has to do with agriculture, which he has talked about. Obi can look at the issue that has to do with electricity, which he has also talked about. Obi can actually go anywhere in the world and defend the monetary policy of Nigeria within the IMF and the World Bank. And of course, these are institutions are holding Nigeria on the jagular. Obi can actually do a Midas touch. Just one step, everything will seem to have come down to at least to a bearable level where Nigerians can also breathe again.
You're just an orator, almost converting all your listeners to believe in OK movement. That is quite an interesting development.
Let me tell you. Let me say very clearly. For the most people who don't believe, it's a matter of choice. Obi is out for service. You can see NDC. If it's called NDC, they'll say service. That is what we want. We don't need the umbrella again. We don't need which broom. We need service. That's what we need. Service. That's what Nigerians are asking for. And Obi carries himself as a president. Anywhere you see him, among the international community, among diplomats of different nations, you can see the interaction. You can see a standing ovation. Anywhere Obi steps in, the people are coming to greet him. It shows that yes, this guy has already been acknowledged as the de facto president 2027. And of course, having the support of OK movement, that is, I'm talking about Kwankwaso movement, who is also from the north. It gives you a complete balance of a secular nation called Nigeria.
It is quite interesting. Will Obi solve the problem of agitation in the east? Biafran said they are going with or without Obi.
I think I have said a lot about that. We are talking about politics now. But let me tell you one thing. Obi is also being seen as a symbol to checkmate the international intervention to break up Nigeria. Considering the fact that the United States of America has actually gone against the Muslim ticket. So on that direction, it might delay, the process. But when you're saying that, whether Obi become president or not, the congressman is saying that Obi's presidency cannot stop their decision on Nigeria. And that is again, and Obi will not have anything to say unless Donald Trump and Israel do not do anything in that regard. But at the stance now, they are very, very clear that Obi's presidency cannot ideologically, dismantle the Boko Haram within 4 years. But Nigerians stand a chance to test and see leadership for the first time in the history of Nigeria.
Thank you once again. What an interesting submission. Now, when Jonathan was presiding as the president, the insecurity was just limited within the northeast. Now, virtually the entire region of this country is under siege, and the escalations is something possibly Tinubu cannot contend. If Jonathan could not solve the problem of insecurity when it was just confined within this northeast, do you think that it would be the best thing that could happen in Nigeria at this time?
The political atmosphere as at now is a game to stop the Igbo presidency, and which Jonathan is part of. And if Jonathan is not part of it, we should be able to see Jonathan, and make a public statement in that regard. And of course, pledge his loyalty to Obi. The way the South and the Southeast of Igbo extraction, supported and powered his election and presidency as at that time. Anything outside that, it is the same Jonathan that came to and tell the whole world that he has Boko Haram in his government. Then, if Jonathan is saying that he has Boko Haram in his government, is he talking about the South and the Middle Belt? That's the question. I think he's talking about the Northerners. So, how come that it is only the Northerners that is saying that Jonathan should return back to power? It meaning that they did not see Obi, they did not see Kwankwaso, and that is the game. Because now they are saying that Kwankwaso is possibly going to be the next president of Nigeria after 4 years. And for that reason, the Tinubu bloc and the Atiku bloc and the Turaki bloc made on call Fulanis in the political system of Nigeria has now gone to lobby and pretend and disguise as if they know that what Jonathan stood for, that Jonathan being the South they created will not align with Igbo. Then what people are asking, why should Jonathan play such a card now? It tells you something that the labor and the sacrifices of Dora Akuyili, particularly to make Jonathan president, as at that time when Yaradua died, was a sacrifice that was in vain. If by omission or by commission, honestly, that Jonathan returns to power or begin to throw his towel and say he's contesting presidency, then Jonathan will definitely be on the radar, and that is the radar, of the Black Book in the history of Nigeria. And of course, don't be surprised that his so-called international influence will be diminished and destroyed. There's no two ways about it. He is out working with the Fulani, working with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, working with Atiku, working with elements of Fulani in PDP to make sure that the Igbo presidency is sabotaged. But let me tell you, one person we are talking about today have already assessed the whole political structure and discovered that in case after 4 years that he stands a better chance to gain the Southern support. Exactly. Because he supported a Southern presidency. He has gone after the convention and said that what is being done to the South is pure sabotage and wickedness, and it cannot be allowed to happen. That is why you are seeing all the elements in NDC today. They don't talk about their manifesto anymore. All they do is to talk about Obi. Then the question is that, yes, we know that Obi is a major factor. Irrespective of how you see it, Obi is a magnet, Obi is a movement, and they are partnering with another movement, which is Kwankwasa movement. This is the first time we are seeing the biggest political movement that can even move out from NDC and go to anywhere, and the structure still remain relevant. I can tell you. But so Jonathan is the center of attraction now. Outside Jonathan, what Jonathan should be doing at this point in time is to seek Atiku's support, faction of PDP under ADC, to become a powerful bloc opposition structured into supporting OP as an independent organizations and party, but structured into OP. That's what the role Jonathan is supposed to be playing at the moment. But you can see how vulnerable Jonathan is. That means Jonathan has been infected with a Fulani virus, which has this understanding that the Igbo man should not be allowed to be president in Nigeria. and that is what it is.
That is a sad one, but in reality, there is no. Jonathan has no chances of becoming the next president because Nigerians will not vote for him. These are realities.
He's already in court. He's already in court contesting the eligibility of his 2027, bid at the end. But whether it works or not, but let it be clear that at the end of the day, I want to see Jonathan, teach Atiku, teach Bola Ahmed Tinubu. These are the people who sabotage, use all manner of propaganda. You can see the former governor of Ekiti say, Fayemi, coming out to say that they knew that Jonathan was doing well, but the only thing that they wanted him out of office. What is the reason you want Jonathan out of office? They cannot be able to substantiate. And now we are seeing one of the weakest presidency in the history of Nigeria under a southern bloc. It has become an embarrassment that another southerner, has finally gone to the point of, diminishing or destroying the question of the South is better than the North. This is the worst ever government we are seeing from the South. And we want that narrative to change. And how can we change that narrative? Nigerians should forget about tribalism. I'm talking about politics now, 2027. And this is about the main question of issue of security and all that.